At 19 years old, I was completely worthless to the marketplace. I had no real skills, I had no value, and I had no tangible way for me to make money online for myself. But I made one decision that got me on the track where I was able to make $800,000 online by the age of 23, starting at the age of 19. And now I'm 23 and I make anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000 per year doing this. And this is what we're going to talk about in this video. And in order to talk about this, we need to go all the way back to when I was 19, where I was a freshman in college and I was majoring in mechanical engineering. And you see, during this time period, I started coming to the realization, especially with my parents not growing up like the wealthiest in the world. We also weren't broke, so we weren't like struggling, but we also weren't living this like luxurious life. And so I knew for me that if I wanted to live the life that I wanted to, I had to do something outside of just working a regular 9 to 5 and just going down the regular path that everyone else goes down. And so I started realizing and started looking into making money online, especially too when I was downloading apps like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and I was watching videos from gurus, seeing disgusting amounts of money, honestly. Like these people were making more money than doctors, and it really pissed me off. It pissed me off to my core. And so, like any rational person, I gave some of these business models a try. And the first thing that I tried was actually getting into drop shipping. The problem is that I failed with drop shipping and I actually lost money. And the reason why is because I didn't know how to find winning products. I didn't know how to run ads. I didn't know how to create good websites. I didn't know how to sell products. And so I then moved on into doing affiliate marketing. And I actually made some money in affiliate marketing, but again, it was the same thing. The reason why I couldn't make more money in affiliate marketing is because I lacked the skills of being able to market myself, being able to transition into running ads, all that fun stuff. And I also did a little bit of trading, and I made maybe $100, maybe $200 trading. The problem is I wasn't able to scale that and actually make serious money for myself because I lacked the skill sets. And so for me, after going through this vicious cycle of jumping from business model to business model to business model for about 6 months, I had to reflect in myself and I had to think about why I was struggling. And in hindsight now, looking back at it, I'll tell you guys right now, and this will be the first piece of advice for you guys, the problem isn't the business models. You actually can make money in dropshipping. You can make really good money in affiliate marketing. You can make really good money in high ticket sales. You can make really good money trading. You can make really good money building your own agency or whatever it is for you. The problem is if you do not have the skill sets required to make these work, you will not make money. The problem isn't the business model. The problem is actually you. And I had to come to this realization after failing with all these business models because it wasn't like one business model was making me a ton of money, whereas all these other ones were sucking. So if that was maybe the case, then I could have blamed the business models. It was like I was failing with all these business models for the exact same reasons. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And the cold reality about the world, but also the beautiful reality about the world, is that the marketplace doesn't value you trying. It doesn't pay you for trying. What it does is it pays you for providing value. You see, if you want to make money online, what you need to do is you need to provide value to the marketplace. And the only way to do this is to solve pain and solve problems in other people's lives. The cold reality, again, but also the beautiful reality about this world, because you can actually change this, which we'll talk about in a second. The cold reality, though, is you could work your ass off every single day and still barely get by. You could work 12 hours a day in certain jobs, like if you're working fast food, working 12 hours a day, you're still barely going to get by and you're never going to be able to live the life that you want to live. Even though you're working your ass off and you're trying super, super hard, you're not actually providing that much value to the marketplace. And so as a byproduct, you will stay broke. However, on the flip side, and again, this is the beautiful part because you can change this, there are people that get paid hundreds of dollars per hour because they're really, really, really good at one thing that solves a really, really painful problem in people. And so they get paid hundreds of dollars per hour and they can get away with only working 2 or 3 hours per day and still get paid fantastic money, right? And so what you need to understand, again, is that if you want to make money online, if you want to make 10K per month, 15K per month, 20K per month, or even just like 5K per month, you shouldn't be asking yourself, what business model should I try in order to do that? What you should be asking yourself instead is, what do I need to provide to the marketplace? What value do I need to provide to the marketplace in order to make whatever money that you want to make? You see, providing value to the marketplace, all it really is it's solving problems and solving pain. If you look at products, we have this iPhone right here. This iPhone, it solves pain. It solves problems. You're able to use the internet. You're able to text or call anybody in the world in the blink of an eye. This water bottle here, it serves the exact same purpose. It solves less pain as the iPhone. That's why the iPhone costs more. But the water bottle still solves pain. Imagine if you had to go down and get water and scoop it in your hands and have to bring it up and drink it to yourself. No, now you can fill up a water bottle and then you can drink out of it whenever you choose. So if you want to provide value to the marketplace, you need to think of how you can solve pain and solve people's problems. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is you can learn skills that is able to solve pain in other people's lives. Specifically, in my recommendation, you can solve rich people's problems with skills. How do you do this? Well, I came to the realization for me at the age of 19 that I needed to provide value first. I needed to stop focusing on how to make money online, how to do all these business models. What is the best business model in the world? No, I said, screw all that. I'm just going to focus on building high income skill sets. And this is the mindset shift that changed everything for me. So I came to the idea as well that I should solve rich people's problems. And so what do rich people struggle with? Well, they build these businesses for themselves. But the problem is they need talent. They need people to work inside of their business, and they want exceptional people. They want people that are really, really good at a specific skill and that are willing to work hard. And so I came to this realization, especially in the info product space, that if I was to learn a skill set, the best skill on the planet that I can learn is a skill that every business uses, that every rich person could find value in. And that skill is sales. You see, every business on the planet, it sells something. And so if you get valuable and if you get good at the skill of sales, you will become valuable and you will become an asset to just about any business on the planet. And I came to this realization. I'm like, shoot, dude, instead of trying all these business models, let me try a business model, quote unquote, like building the skill of sales. That led me down the path ultimately of doing high ticket sales, which is where I found my first significant breakthrough. Again, I tried drop shipping, I tried affiliate marketing, I tried trading. And the reason these business models didn't work for me is not because they're inherently bad or wrong. It's because I didn't have the skill sets to make them work. And so when I tried doing the skill of sales, I understood from the start that it would be a skill that would build over time. And that when I get into it, I probably won't make that much money at the beginning, but I'm just going to keep focusing and improving every single day on building my skill of sales. So that's exactly what I did. I first started off as an appointment setter working inside of an info product business. And the first, I would say 14 days, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was really bad, honestly. Even you can watch all these videos on YouTube about sales. Even after doing some of that myself, I thought I knew what I was doing. But once I started having to put it actually into practice, I wasn't that great. But thankfully, the business owner that I was working with was very flexible with that. And I was able to build and focus on building my skills over time. By the end of about month 1.5, so my first official month after struggling for those first 14 days, I had ended up making about $3,000 online, which was great. It wasn't anything too crazy where it was, enough money to live the life that I wanted to live yet, but it was great income for working as a college student. Like I was a college student, I was also working part-time as a lifeguard at this time, so $3,000 was actually pretty solid income in addition to all of that. And then I kept getting better. Like we talked about, I was able to improve my skill of sales, which means that I was able to provide more value to the business owner that I was working with and solve a bigger problem inside of their business, which is allowing them to make more money. And as a byproduct, my second month, I hit about 4.4K. My third month, I hit just under 5K. I think it was 4.95. And so now I was making 5K per month while I was still full-time in college and while I was still working part-time as a lifeguard, just as an appointment setter, working for business owners, sending messages on their behalf on Instagram. And if you think about it, this is how it works. You have businesses on social media that create content. They create content on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. These people don't have time to go in and message every single person that's commenting on their Instagram account or following them on Instagram or DMing them on Instagram because they have a business to run. And so what do? They hire appointment setters and salespeople to go inside of their business and solve this painful problem. It correlates exactly with what I was talking about at the top of this video. So if you're able to go into a business, become an appointment setter, and solve this problem for them, you'll get paid pretty well because you're going to allow them to make more money because they're able to focus on other things inside of their business that is going to allow them to make more money. Like I said, I started off as an appointment setter, which is probably the lowest level of doing high ticket sales, but I just focused on getting really, really good at that one thing. And I went from doing $3,000 per month after failing for those like first 14 days still because I had to build my skill. $3,000 my first month to making about $5,000 a month by month 3. And then I came to the realization that eventually at one point or another, I would just have to go all in on this. It's impossible to manage 3 things forever because I was doing college, I was working part-time as a lifeguard, and I was doing sales all day, every day. I had like no free time, but honestly, this is part of the process of you having to become exceptional for yourself. You're going to have to sacrifice things. And so I eventually came to the realization that like, dude, what if I just quit my job as a lifeguard and just go all in on doing sales? Additionally, too, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a gap year of college because I didn't really like it anyways. I wasn't passionate about majoring in mechanical engineering, and so I'm like, screw it. Let me just take a gap year. Let me quit my job as a lifeguard and let me go all in on the skill of sales, and that's exactly what happened. From doing that, I moved on from doing the lowest level of sales, which is appointment setting, to jumping into doing closing for myself, which was a lot harder. But since it's harder, it provides more value to a business. You get my drift with that? When you learn high income skills and when you get really, really good at high income skills, you're able to provide more value to a business, therefore making you more money. And so then I transitioned into doing closing, where now instead of just DMing people on Instagram as an appointment setter, now I was somebody that was actively jumping on Zoom calls with people, selling products over Zoom, selling services, selling products for a business owner. And the business that I worked with was an Instagram ads coaching program. So I was talking to coaches, consultants, and I was selling them on how they can set up Instagram ads so they can grow their own business. So I was selling business to business, which if you don't know, it's pretty hard to sell, but it's definitely something that built my skill sets and got me really, really valuable at doing that. And then I did closing for a little bit, and I realized that I could probably balance doing appointment setting too, because this was the only thing that I focused on after quitting my job as a lifeguard and dropping out of college. And so I went all in on just doing high ticket sales every single day. It was like all I breathed, all I thought about, all that I was doing. I was doing full-time closing and I was doing full-time appointment setting in the same business as a full stack hybrid sales rep. And after doing that for about 1.5 to 2 years, I was able to make over $800,000 online. And I went from making $5K per month just as a setter to making anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 per month as a full cycle sales rep, doing closing and doing setting inside of the same business. And so I say this to say, and I create this video because I see this mistake happen again and again, that beginners are looking into ways to make money online. And I think that's awesome. I think you should pursue making money online, especially if you don't want to be average and you don't want to go down the average path of going through college. And maybe you're tired of the education system and you just don't want to go down that path of living an average life. I think it's great that you're looking into ways to make money online. The problem is that so many people fall victim to always hunting and always trying to find the perfect business model and the right business model for you. I'm telling you right now, every business model out there can work. Some can be a little shady for sure, and some can be very, very difficult. And there is a better one for you to do, in my opinion, being sales. But the root principle of it is if you don't have skill sets, you're going to struggle at all of them. However, on the flip side, when you do have skill sets, like now I have the skill of sales and I also know how to create content and a bunch of other things that I've built over the past 4 years, now I can go and make any of these business models work. I guarantee you right now, if I shut down and burnt my entire business, my 20 to 30K per month business, if I just shut it down and I'm just like, fuck it, for some reason, I wouldn't do that. But if I were to do it and I wanted to pick up the skill of trading and I wanted to try it out, I might struggle in the beginning a little bit, but I guarantee you by month 2 and month 3, I would be making really good money as a trader. Same with dropshipping. If I said, fuck this, I'm going to stop creating YouTube videos, I'm going to stop doing sales, I'm going to stop all of it, and I'm just going to start over from scratch for some reason. And I did dropshipping. Even after failing with dropshipping in the beginning, I know that I can make it work. And this is the power of you having skill sets under your belt. And this is why doing something like high ticket sales is incredibly pivotal for you in finding your success. Because instead of chasing all these fads and these new flashy business models, if you instead just focus on building your skill sets, like doing high ticket sales, and still in the process making good money for yourself, then if you do that for 2 or 3 years, you can go and make any business work. If you want to start your own business in the future, do sales for a year or 2. Get really, really good at the skill of sales, then start your own business. And I guarantee you, your likelihood of making that business work will be significantly higher. It's what I did. I wanted to start my own business. I knew that I wanted to be entrepreneurial at one point. The problem was I tried all these business models and I failed with all of them. And so I came to the realization that let me just focus on building my skills. And I was doing full stack closing for about a year and a half, doing both appointment setting and closing inside of the same business. In that process of taking hundreds, maybe even thousands of sales calls and sending definitely tens of thousands of DMs to business owners on Instagram, I got really, really good. And now I have valuable skill sets to my advantage. Now, whatever business that I want to start in the future, I know that I'll make it work. And I know that I'll be much, much, much more likely to make it work than if I kept trying to jump from business model to business model at the age of 19. So this is the realization, and I hope you got some value out of this. If you want to work with me as your one-on-one mentor to help you go down the path of doing high-ticket sales for yourself and get to the point where you're making 5 to 10K per month, I am down to help you. I'll tell you right now, it's probably not going to be easy, and it's going to require a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work. But if you want to set yourself up for a life of success, this is one of the best things that you can do for yourself is build the skill of sales, because it's incredibly valuable to any business on the planet. So if you want my help in doing that, you can book a call with myself down below using the link in the description. If you have any questions about my story, just comment them down below and I'm happy to answer and clarify any details that might be missing in this video. But hopefully you guys got some good value out of this, and you guys take care and have a fantastic rest of your day, okay? Peace.